What happened here? They just walked into, sounds like they walked into Janaza Salah or something's going on there. With, the kids were like, Salaamu alaikum! Good. Alaikum salam. Okay, I'll try it again. Assalamu alaikum. I often have one of the most difficult jobs. I was thinking about this when I was walking over. One of the most difficult jobs of the Muslim community. Oftentimes when I go to events, my job is to do what? Is to make people smile. And sometimes when I try to make Muslim brothers smile, this is what they do. Some of them they look like they smell something bad. I'm like, how am I going to make this guy smile? And it's very difficult sometimes. And he's smiling is sunnah. So I'm like, what do I do? Sometimes I get into situations where I look at it back later and I start laughing myself because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put me in this unusual situation. So I will tell you something that actually happened to me. A friend invited me to a wedding. He said, Ali, can you come and speak at my wedding? And I said, why? He said, I want you to do some comedy at my wedding. I'm like, no, it doesn't work. He's like, why? I said, people don't come for a wedding for comedy. People sit and they're talking to each other, they're eating, they're taking pictures, they're not listening to anyone. Anyone who's talking at the wedding, they're like, what does he say? And they continue eating. It's like the masjid announcement guy. No one's paying attention to the guy. And I'm the masjid announcement guy at your wedding. He's like, no, Ali, it'll be different. I said, no, I'm sorry, I can't do it. I don't do comedy at any weddings. Till that day, 0 weddings. And he said, Ali, I've known you for 15 years, before you were doing any videos, before you were Baba Ali, before you were doing these tours. This is the one favor I'm only asking you, and that's it. He made me feel so guilty that I said, okay, fine, I'll do it. And I went to the wedding, and what I learned at the wedding was that he's a doctor, his wife is a doctor, his father is a doctor, and most of the people at the wedding are doctors. So I felt like the medical clinic. And I go there, and I sit down, and I'm thinking, what do I talk about to doctors? And I remember I was sitting with my wife and the kids, and we're sitting at a table, and I had no idea what I was going to say. Just like right now, when I got on stage, I wasn't really sure what I was going to talk about. And what happened was, right before I went up, the father got up on stage and said, before we announce the next speaker, I'd like to thank a few people who've come to today's wedding, today's gathering. Dr. Khan, please stand up. He's a pediatrician from so-and-so hospital. Please stand up. And when he stood up, everyone will clap for him. And Sister Fatima, she's also a doctor. Dr. Fatima, please stand up, and everyone will clap for her. And Dr. So-and-so, they will stand up and clap for her. Doctors, and he went on, and on, and on, until I looked around and was like, am I the only one that's not a doctor at this wedding? And then, right when I'm thinking about this, a joke came into my head. I said, if I say this joke on stage, everything will be easy, inshallah. The rest of it, when I do the comedy, they'll be laughing. If the joke does not work, it's going to be a disaster. And this is the joke I said. And I wrote it right there. I did not plan this, I wrote it right there. And the joke, I went up on stage, and this is the joke I said. I said, Assalamu alaikum. I said, with all the doctors that are here, who's at the hospital? They didn't laugh. They were looking around, who is at the hospital? We're all here. They thought I was making an announcement. And after that, from everything I was saying, they thought I was making an announcement. They didn't even know I was doing comedy. It was a complete disaster. Complete disaster. And right when I thought, true story, right when I thought it can't get any worse because no one's laughing, no one understands that I'm doing comedy for them, my daughter, I think she's the age of 4 years old, as I'm standing on stage, she walks up from the table, walks all the way around, and she starts pulling my pants. And her name is Hanifa. I'm like, yes, Hanifa. It's like, Baba, who are you talking to? No one's listening to you. We don't understand what you're talking about. So at that point, I was a complete disaster. So I always don't know what I'm going to talk about when I get on stage, but once it starts moving, then the ideas come to my head. So as I'm sitting here, the story of my convert story starts popping into my head. With the kids, I was just talking about something completely different, but with you guys, since you're older, I can talk to you about something more serious, inshallah, but it has this humor in it. I'm a convert. Even though my family was born in a quote-unquote Muslim country, I was given zero Islam. It was gone to the point that my parents would say, any religion you want to follow, you can follow, as long as you become a doctor or engineer, we don't care. That's how it was, really, true story. They don't care. You can be witchcraft if you want, we don't care. As long as you become a doctor, we don't care. I was that type of secular household. So because I had no Islam in my life, I was in a very dark place. I didn't know, if you don't have deen, you have nothing. So I'm in a point in my life, I don't know if I want to live, if I want to die, who cares about life? And I'm just very, very, very bad moment. And I'm sitting in my car, and there's this fast food, I don't know if you guys have it here, but we have something called Carl's Jr. You guys have it here, or Hardee's? Yeah, so it's like a fast food, like McDonald's thing. So I'm sitting in a fast food drive-thru, and as I'm sitting in for the drive-thru, true story, a guy jumps into the passenger seat of my car and says, go, 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 go. And I'm in the drive-thru, he says, go. So I turn my car and I start going. I look to my right, this guy has all these crazy looking tattoos, not normal tattoos, the type you get in prison. And I just realized I've been carjacked. And as I'm being carjacked, he's telling me to make left turns and right turns, and I'm going to the bad part of town. And the whole time, I'm just quiet, I'm just like, not reacting. Most people are scared, they're panicking. They're, oh, what do you want? Just here, take my money. I'm just driving. And he is talking. And he's telling me about prison. He's talking about how he killed somebody. And at one point, I remember we were on, even the street, we were on DeSoto and Konoga. There's two streets. He went to the right side of his ankle, and I thought at that point he's taking out his weapon to either shoot me or kill me or whatever. And that's the first time I started talking. I told him, I think you got into the wrong car. I said, I don't know if I want to live or die, but if I'm going to die, I'm taking you with me. He said, what? I said, watch this. I put my pedal to the metal, and I went through every red light at full speed. The guy starts panicking. He's like, and then he jumps and says, pull over, pull over, pull over. He jumps out of the car. I never see the guy in my life again. I'm completely lost. I'm still like, I drive home. I don't tell my friends about it. My friend heard about the story when I was on stage one time, 15 years later. He didn't even know about the story. I don't think some of my friends still to today know about the story. I'm sharing with you guys. So at the same time, my friend, I told him he was a gang member in Los Angeles. I was telling him that I'm looking for what the reason why we're living. So I started studying different religions. And then we came across that I looked at every religion, and the last religion left was Islam. So there was one masjid at that time. So I decided, let me go and see what these Muslims are. And remember, this is a guy who knows zero about Islam. I don't know what God you follow, I don't know what prophets, I don't know. So I go into the masjid, and I have crazy looking hair, baggy clothes, I look really bad. I walk into, really like a bad kid. I walk into the masjid, and I didn't know what type of Muslims meet or what day they meet. And later I realized I remember it was dark, so it must have been after Maghrib, and it must have been during the week. I walk into the masjid, and there was like 8 or 9 brothers in a circle dressing all in white thobes. And I didn't know at that time, but these were the Tablighi Jama'ah. And I walk in, and I'm like, hi everybody, I'm here to learn about Islam. And these people were having a halaqah. I don't know what their halaqah was about, but I have a sense of what it was about, because as soon as they say, we usually go to him, he came to us, let's all make dawah. And they did dawah the wrong way. They ran to me in a line, all trying to get in front of me, saying, hey, I gotta tell you about Islam. I said, what? Let me tell you about jinns. I am not joking. The guy said, let me tell you about jinns. Let me tell you about this. I'm like, who's jinn? Who's jinn? And the guy said, move over, let me tell him. Listen, if you get intimate with your wife, say this dua, otherwise shaitan gets intimate with your wife. I'm like, who's shaitan? I'm not married. What are you guys talking about? And I remember, I was so scared, I ran back into my car and I drove away really fast. And I was driving away thinking to myself, which one was more scarier? The guy who carjacked me, or these people that were scared of me? So I go home, I'm like, I don't want to deal with Muslims, I don't want to learn anything, these guys are scaring me to death. This gym guy and the shaitan guy, all this stuff. So and the black dog, and so I get back, they didn't tell me Tawheed, they didn't say La ilaha illallah, nothing. So I get back into the car, I go home. This is such a normal convert story. And then my friend, the gang member, told me there's a flyer that he's been looking around too for the solutions of life. By the way, he's Muslim till today, alhamdulillah. And he found a flyer about a Muslim camp. We can go to a Muslim camp and learn about Islam. I said, okay, this time I'm not going alone. I'm taking a bunch of people with me, because these people, no. I learned about Muslims. Okay, so what do we take with us? True story. I said, these are people we're going to take with us. First, we need to get a guy who knows about Islam. So we found a guy from Nation of Islam to take with us. We didn't know. We thought, okay, this guy must be an expert. He's a Nation of Islam guy. He's a hardcore Nation of Islam guy. Okay, we didn't know at that time. Then we took another guy who was a nationalistic Iranian guy. Iran! And he didn't know anything. He just came with us. Then we took the gang member, we took myself. At that time, I'm not Muslim, so I took my girlfriend with me. My girlfriend, forget about hijab or no hijab, she had purple hair. So I was like, the organizer of the camp, I've never seen a group like this before. And then we took the fifth person we took with us was a guy who thought we were just going camping. True story, his name was Reza. He came with us to go, we thought he was going camping. What are you guys doing this weekend? We're going camping. All right, I'll come too. So we get on the car together, we go to this place, and we started so much fitna there because we didn't know adab, we didn't know behavior, we didn't know how to act like Muslims, we didn't know anything. The only thing I saw was men and women are separated, and the only time I saw that was the concentration camps on TV. I'm like, don't go to the showers, don't go to the showers. I was worried, I was like, what are these people going to do? And what happened was, subhanAllah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it snow. And it snowed, and it snowed, and we were in San Bernardino, California, I think it was. And it snowed so much that I was tired of the high elevation, that I did not have any more fitna to do. I went, there's a story about that. I was outside of the hall, just like this. I was sitting with myself and my girlfriend. And again, I don't know anything about Islam, and I have my arm around my girlfriend who has purple hair. An older sister with hijab and jilbab walks up to us and says, I'm sorry, you two can't sit like this. My response was like this, it's okay, she's my girlfriend. And she looks at me, who are these people? Who are these people? So I ended up in the lecture hall. And there was different sheikhs. The first time I left, I started listening to them. They started talking about Islam in a very unique way. It caught my interest. But that's not what made me Muslim. What made me Muslim is I saw things that we don't see in today's Muslim community. I saw Muslims acting with what Islam teaches us rather than acting like Muslims. So I say, alhamdulillah, Allah showed me Islam before He showed me the Muslims. Because when I came back from the camp, I saw something completely different. But when I was there, I was hanging out with at my table. I saw faces that were black, brown, white, all different colors. And they were so close to each other, I asked them the question, how long have you guys known each other? And they're like, oh, we just met. And I've never met people like this before, because even in school, those who go to high school here, we know everyone is in groups. These are the basketball players, this is the so-and-so, these are the band, everyone is in their cliques. The guys and girls know about this. When you get to college, people are still in their groups. Even if you go to prison, they separate by groups. Right? But these Muslims were not separated by groups. There was no clergy. They were all one. And I caught my eyes as their skin color is not why they're friends. Their language is not why they're all friends. It's the deen that they carry is their friends. So what is this deen that makes them so strong? So I kept asking questions, until the next morning I accepted Islam. When I accepted Islam, I told my girlfriend, she thought I went crazy. Because I told her, there's no more girlfriend, boyfriend. What? Yeah, last night it's over. So it's not. So I was like, what is going on? We just been here, we stayed dinner. What kind of questions you ask? It's over. I told myself, if I ever find the truth, I will change immediately. I'm not going to sit there and ask 100 more questions. I know the truth, I'm done. So I come back from this camp. I just know about enough Islam, about Tawheed. I don't know everything, I just know basics. I come back, me and the gang member, we both become Muslim. And we come back to the camp. We come back to Los Angeles. I'm from Los Angeles, California. And we experience things for the first time. As of that day, all the tests from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts coming. All the tests that I couldn't even imagine start coming. Because now you want Jannah, now you will be tested. So I remember, it's a very, very specific story. I was in college. We went to a college, we went time for Salah. This is in Los Angeles, California. As we went to go pray Salah, we went to find an area away. Sometimes we try to find a place for Salah, we try to go away from everyone else. I found a place very, very distant, a grass area away from our classroom, so no one comes and asks us questions what we're doing. So this is new for them. Many people have never seen people pray before. So my friend is leading the Salah, the gang member, and I'm praying next to him. I think we're praying either Dhuhr or Asr. I remember it was before class. And he's like, Allahu Akbar, and I'm praying, Allahu Akbar. And as we start praying Salah, I am not joking, a guy walks up to us, I think from our class. Hey guys, what are you guys doing? And I'm like, Allahu Akbar. And this is what he's doing. He's like, are you guys doing this together? And I'm thinking to myself, doesn't he know we're praying? And you're not supposed to laugh when you're praying, so like this. He just keeps talking. He just keeps talking. And then we go into we go to sujood. Allahu Akbar. He's like, are you guys okay? He thought we were sick. And I was like, even if we ate the same food, why are we getting sick at the same time? Then we said, Allahu Akbar. That's when he got up. He's like, guys, if you guys are joking, stop joking. Are you guys really okay? And we went to Allahu Akbar and sujood again. He's like, I want to go get help. And he runs to go get help. And I'm the whole time like this. Shaitan's in one ear, this guy's in the other ear. Like, I don't know what praying. I don't know what salah praying. I don't know nothing here. What right in? I'm completely confused. And it started from there. So it just test after test. And this is just in public. In private, it's a whole different. I'll say private because sometimes we think we're praying privately. We're not praying privately. Sisters, when you go to shopping, where do you guys pray? That's private. Where? Fitting room. Fitting room. So fitting room, see how sisters all say fitting room. Why do you pray in the fitting room? Private. It is private. It's private, 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 private. The last 2 feet are all public. Yeah. So listen. So let's say this is the fitting room, right? This is the wall of the fitting room. Right? After this is all public, the rest of this is the wall. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to pray. I take one clothes, I'm not even changing this clothes, I just find the space to pray. And you're like, Allahu Akbar. And you're praying, and the person on the other side of the wall is saying, yes, I think I should buy these jeans. Hey! There's someone looking at me! He's gone! There he is again! It looks very suspicious. It's just like... So even in that thing, I'm being tested, subhanAllah. I used to work at Universal Studios. And when I worked at Universal Studios, true story, I can't even tell you something about that. People say, where do you come up with jokes? I don't come up with jokes. Just live my life. I was working at Universal Studios. The lady who was doing one of these actors and stuff like that, I went back, I was like, I need to find a place to pray. Believe it or not, as big as Universal Studios is, in the back room, because I used to work in the store, where do I pray? And I found this area where the people were juggling, where the people were doing, all the people who are performers are doing their practicing, and they're doing their sword fighting, and I'm like, you know what, if I just pray right here, I just look normal. I'm just doing something, and just leave me alone. The lady walks up to me while I'm praying, I think Maghrib, even though I'm reciting, so what's this? Which act is this? What are you doing here? I've never seen this before. And the whole time I'm going to record, I'm talking, she continues talking to me the whole time. I'm like, subhanAllah. Okay, so when I come back to the camp, this is the trials I go through. I deal with this, and it's very difficult. And one of the biggest things, a trial that I go through, is getting away from bad friends. And this is advice I give to all the parents that are here. Sometimes you are closer to your deen than your kids are, and you want to pull your kids closer to the deen. And I teach a youth group. Alhamdulillah, we've been teaching for the last 2 years. And many parents have said, I see great improvement in my kids night and day. We've tried years, and you've just spent a few weeks with you. What is your secret? What are you doing? I said, the advice we give the kids is we change their friends. Surround you with the right people will change everything. So I went away from all those bad friends that were influencing me and surrounded myself with a few people, and alhamdulillah, that changed. But even then, the convert story continues and goes on. I'm going to share you guys. By the way, am I the only convert in this room? Is there any other convert in this room? We have one more convert. Subhanallah, mashallah. Okay, we have some sisters here convert, a few brothers here too. Okay. So there's going to be about 6 or 7 people that will understand the next few things I'll be talking about because they can probably relate to what I'm talking about. Some of you on some things will relate. When we are presented Islam, when you're doing da'wah to non-Muslims, you make Islam very easy. Easy! Actually, no, I'll do something for you guys. They come to you and they say, Islam is easy! I'm like, really? I have some questions. I have a pamphlet here. No problem, I answer all your questions for you, brother. No problem. I said, yeah, according to this, I have to pray 5 times a day. I'm not sure if I can do that. If I can, my friend, you only pray just a few minutes. Easy! Okay, the second part regarding zakat, 2.5%. It has all these different things that if this qualifies for zakat. I don't understand how that whole thing works. I don't even do my own accounting. I don't even do my own taxes. So how does the whole thing work? My friend, do you have excess income? I'm like, no. Easy! Okay, the next one, it says Hajj. It says I have to go all the way down to Saudi Arabia, and it costs, in doing these things, I don't know anything about that. I spent 5 days there. Some people spend weeks there. I don't know anything about Hajj. My friend, you dress in 2 pieces of white cloth, you walk around the desert. Easy! Become Muslim, Shahada, please! I have a few more questions. The one about Ramadan is 30 days without food, without water. My friend, Muslims, I tell you a secret. I'm like, what? Muslims, they gain weight during Ramadan. I'm like, how is that possible? Because we cook all day and we eat all night. That's how it's possible. Easy! Okay, the last one is supposed to be the first step of Islam. It says Shahada, and how you become a Muslim. And I don't speak Arabic. I don't speak one word of Arabic. I don't know any Arabic. My friend, let me explain to you how it works. You come to Jummah with me. Then they make announcements, someone become Muslim. Then you say a few words in Arabic. You repeat after the Imam. And then you become Muslim. I say I did one Shahada, mashallah. Easy! So you sold this idea that everything is easy. Of course, until you become Muslim, then everything becomes very hard. Because we become very strict on these people. Because as soon as you become Muslim, okay, your foot is around it, your hands in your, what? Sister, are you married? You need to get married. Brother, are you what? What happened to easy? Yeah. So, let me tell you guys what it is for converts when you become easy. Okay. As soon as you want to come to the masjid, they need the masjid experience. You come to the masjid, and they make the announcement. And by the way, I was born in Iran, right? So I was raised in America with no Islam. Parents were not religious, nothing. So you go to the masjid. After Jummah, they make the announcement that there's someone wants to give shahada. And as soon as you say that, everyone turns around and they're walking away. They're walking on to see who's giving shahada. So they're looking left. They're looking for the white guy. Where's the white guy? There's no white guy here. Where's Stephen? Stephen? No Stephen? Who's giving shahada, brother? Who's giving shahada? They look for the black brother, African American brother, no African American. And then one older brother will say, who is giving shahada? He says, him. Him? What is your name? Oh, my name is Ali. Where are you from? I'm from Iran. He doesn't count, I'm going to work. Yeah, and Ramadan, true story. I can give you real names. I worked for an office at that time, and Ramadan, I learned as a Muslim that you use water to clean yourself when you go to the bathroom. But at work, they don't have the buckets of water, right? So I have to take a water bottle, and when I drink the water bottle, I put it empty once under my desk. And when I need to go use the restroom, I use one and I throw it away. So this girl who works with me, she works in a different cubicle. She said, hey, Ali, I recycle water bottles. I saw all these water bottles on your desk. Can I recycle them? I'm like, don't worry about it. I'm already recycling them myself. So I became Muslim. Obviously, this is after the Muslim conversation. She asked me one day, Because I was thinking, now that I have Islam, how do I teach my coworkers? How do I bring it up? Because in workplace, you're not supposed to talk about religion. But if they ask me. So one day she asked me that there's a birthday, would you like some carrot cake? Some people at the office, someone's birthday, would you like some carrot cake? I said, no, it's okay. She's like, why? I said, because I'm fasting. She's like, for how long? I said, for 30 days. She says, you're going to die. I said, no. So you can't eat food? I said, no. You can't drink water? I said, no. You're going to die. I said, no, we've been doing it for 400 years. We figured it out. Don't worry, we're okay. Kids do it. So it's like, okay. So you're sure you don't eat? I said, I'm sure. You're sure you don't drink? I'm sure. What if you get very, very thirsty? I said, we still don't drink. Really? I said, really? Okay. So that's it. That was the end of the conversation. True story. I could not make this up. One day during the month of Ramadan, I need to go use the restroom. I grabbed one of the empty water bottles, and I tried, and it's smart water, so there's the big bottles about this big, and the sink in the bathroom is very shallow, so you can't fill it up. It's one of those like automatic ones, it doesn't work. So I go into the kitchen, and I start filling up the water bottle. As I'm filling up the water bottle, in the middle of the day, in Ramadan, the girl, her name is Maple, she walks in and says, hey Ali, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. She's like, wait a second, didn't you say you can't drink water in the month of Ramadan? I'm like, it's not for drinking. And then she's like, what is this for? I said, I don't want to talk about it. I am not joking. I didn't respond. I just grabbed it and I walked right past her. And she's just standing there like, what's going on? I walked quickly to the bathroom. I used it. I threw the water bottle away. I walked back to my desk. She's working. I might think, subhanAllah, she thinks I'm a hypocrite. She thinks I'm drinking this water. I have to tell her what's happening with the water bottle. But all my coworkers are working with us. I don't want to make this explanation here. Hey, everybody, let me tell you what happens. So I said, I'll write an email. This is a true story. I opened Microsoft Outlook. I typed up an email explaining what happens with the water bottle and us in the bathroom and all that stuff. And I typed it up and I pressed send. She opens up her email. She reads it. And since that day, she's never asked to recycle any of my water bottles ever again. Easy! Not so easy. Then comes the Hajj part. They say, easy! They don't explain the $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 part. Easy! I said easy, not cheap. Easy, okay. The zakat, salah. Alright, so I go to the first masjid I went to was Tampa Masjid. And that masjid, every masjid is a little bit different, but one thing that was constantly said in that masjid, it said, when you pray, foot to foot, shoulder to shoulder. So I'm like, okay. And I said, foot to foot, shoulder to shoulder. And they say, Allahu Akbar. And I realized, I didn't know that Muslims have different schools of thought. I didn't know people are different. And I see there's a space between me and a brother. So as there's a space between me and him, I said, I move a little bit this way. And I think he sees me move that way, and he moves way from me. And I'm like, where is he going? So I'm like, what's going on here? And as they move over this way, the other guy goes away. I'm like, okay, I get closer to him, and closer to him. And after a while, he's like this. The imam mentioned foot to foot, shoulder to shoulder. But my knees don't bend for ruku. How am I supposed to do that? And I'm like this, and two guys are like this. I'm like, what's going on here? I'm learning that people have different schools of thought and different understanding, and like I can't have conversation anywhere. I can't do it. So like that was challenging. Challenging is when praying. I noticed many masjids when you pray, you're supposed to look where? Where are we supposed to look when we pray salah? Sujood. Yes, where you make sujood. That's it. You're not supposed to be looking around. So while I'm looking to pray sujood, I only expect to see one thing there, right? I see pictures of the masjid. Here's Mecca. Here's minarets, and here's this, and it's like this is a whole picture. This is a whole. What's going on over here? There should be one circle with every arrow pointed to say, "Look right here," but we don't have that, right? I think this is a view of a non-Muslim. And then comes the most challenging part. They said when you leave and someone is praying, don't walk in front of them. Because if you knew the sin, you would wait a 40 periods of time. It would either be days, weeks, months, we don't know based on the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. We don't know, but it's a punishment to to walk in front of someone while they're praying. So I finish salah, and you want to walk in front of somebody, and you want to walk, but some people you can tell they're praying because they're looking down. Some people are not looking down, they're looking at you. They're looking around. But their mouths are moving, their hands are in position, so they're like, is he praying or is he not praying? So it's always this battle when I'm leaving Jummah, I'm looking at him, is he praying or not praying? So I look at him, he looks at me. I look at him, is his lips moving? His lips are not moving. You do this to him, he does this to you. And then you just take a step forward, and this one does. Allahu Akbar! And he's still looking at you! So I asked somebody, what do I do? Because people walk in front of me when I'm praying, what are you supposed to do? They say, oh, if someone tries to walk in front of you, what are you supposed to do? Does anyone know? Yeah, you put your hand up. What happens when you put your hand up? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi. How's everything? As a convert, you know how confusing all this is. You guys are, it's very difficult. So after all this time and learning about Islam, alhamdulillah, the best thing about this, as much as ups and downs we have, the beautiful Muslim community is amazing. And this is my favorite part of coming here and trying to do one thing, making the Ummah do something that we need in the world, and that's to smile and to have good things, because we go through so much hardship, we see almost so much negativity. We try to do something that's positive, especially for the kids, inshallah. So, I got invited to go do this comedy thing. I'll end with this, inshallah. I was invited to go do humor for people. And I'm like, I don't know how to write humor for people. So, oh, brother, do like your videos on YouTube. I'm like, that's different. You know, I sit in my room, my wife doesn't watch it, my kids don't watch it, I just by myself, everyone's asleep, it's easy. In front of people, it's difficult. So, I said, I went to a comedy for show. It was Preacher Moss and Ahmad Ali in Toronto. And I went backstage, and this is the first time I'm ever performing for Muslims. First time ever. I go backstage, and I see Muslims, I see the two comedians, and I see one guy, he has these books, spiral notebooks of jokes. And he had like a box, I think, or not a box, a bunch of these books. I said, what are all those? He said, these are my joke books. I said, joke books? I never heard of this before. So write all my jokes in this. I said, it's a genius idea, because I always get ideas, I never write them down. I said, yeah, you have to write down your jokes. I said, that's what I'll do. So that day, I did a joke. And I'm going to tell you what joke I did, and how I got in trouble for this one joke. The joke was called, they're going to throw you off the plane. I don't do this joke anymore, but this was a long time ago. Oh, you've heard this before? Yes, I'm going to tell you what happened with this joke. So for those who have not heard it, who has not heard they're going to throw you off the plane? You haven't heard it? Yeah, she's laughing because she knows what the joke is. I'm going to tell you what happened with this joke, sister, because I got stuck at the airport for this one. Alright, I'll get to it in a second. Let me do the joke first so they understand the same way you understand. This was a joke I did in 2006. This is old. Alright? I said, okay everybody, you know how this Muslims being thrown off the airplane? I'm going to teach you guys 5 things not to do, because if you do, they're going to throw you off the airplane. Alright, that was a joke that I had written in 2006, and I was just doing it for them. And the joke will go like this. I'll let you guys participate in this. I want you guys to say they're going to throw you off the airplane. Can you guys do that for me? They're going to throw you off the airplane. What, he wants us to talk now? What does he want from us? Let's try it one more time. Okay, 5 things not to do, because if you do, they're going to throw you off the airplane. Number 1, no matter how good the food is on the airplane, don't ever say, hey, this is the bomb. Because if you do, Number 2, this actually happened to me. I had a stopwatch.